Hello, dear students and aspirants. The Chinese military strategist Sun Tzu once famously remarked that if you know your enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. UPSC CSE is not necessarily your enemy, but it is definitely an examination that you wish to conquer. And in order to conquer this examination, you need to be well versed with each and every aspect of the syllabus. International relations is an integral part of your general studies paper 2 of the mains examination. It is also being asked in the preliminary examination these days. And in the general studies too, it accounts for nearly 50 marks every year. Therefore, a thorough understanding of international relations can help you score really good marks in your GS paper 2. Not only this, international relations has important interlinkages with other aspects of your syllabus, for example, internal security. Something like climate diplomacy is also linked with your environment, or space diplomacy is linked with the developments in science and technology. Moreover, a good grasp of international relations can also help you score well in your essays paper. I am Arpita and I am starting a new club on Habitat to help you organize and simplify your international relations preparation. I have been involved with various think tanks in India and associated with different research projects. I have spent the last 5 to 6 years of my life researching and studying about different aspects of international relations. And I'm here today on this platform of Habitat to start this new Statesman Club where we will prepare international relations for the UPSC exam in a holistic manner. So let's quickly take a look at what all our club is going to entail. In my interaction with students is that they find it challenging to prepare for international relations. And why is it so? Firstly, they say that there is no single point source to prepare for international relations. You don't have a book like Lakshmikant or Spectrum that you have with respect to polity or modern history when it comes to international relations. There are some excellent books like Does the Elephant Dance by David Malone or Pax Indica by Shashi Tharoor, which are exceptionally written books. However, some of these books become difficult to understand for those who are beginning their UPSC preparation. Also, these books are voluminous, and given our time constraint, many of us find it difficult to complete these books. Also, due to the dynamic nature of the international relations subject, the books tend to become outdated pretty soon. And often students find that the syllabus that is mentioned is all encompassing when it comes to international relations. Like, are we supposed to prepare India's bilateral relations with each and every country of the globe? Or are we going to prepare all the international organizations and regional bodies that are there? So, there is always this fear as to where should we begin and where are we going to stop with our preparation for IR. I know that the syllabus can sometimes seem so voluminous that one can do a PhD and write a thesis on each and every word that is mentioned in the syllabus. But if we analyze the previous year questions well, then it does give us some clue as to where and how we should go ahead with our preparation. And this is what I'm going to help you with as a part of this club. So, what is the Statesman Club going to entail? First is this will be a 20-day program that will help us cover international relations for GS paper 2 as well as for our preliminary exam. Now, when you come to this club, I'm not going to ask you to come with any prerequisite knowledge after reading any book. You are most welcome to come to this club with a blank slate, because here we are going to move from a basic to an advanced level. Then, it is important for us to develop an IR specific vocabulary, and that we will do with the help of this club. What do we mean by saying an IR specific vocabulary? Now, you see, the different papers of UPSC, say your ethics paper. If in your ethics answer you do not use words like moral relativism, emotional intelligence, attitude, values, then your answers don't look like an ethics answer. Or if in your economics answers you do not use some references like, say, middle income trap from your economics survey, your answers do not stand out as an economics answer. Similarly, there is certain vocabulary when it comes to IR, say debt diplomacy, reformed multilateralism, strategic partnership, alliance. These kind of vocabulary helps distinguish a student from his or her peers. Because at the end of the day, we only have 150 to 200 words to impress the examiner. And when you have this kind of a vocabulary at your disposal, you can express more in fewer words. Also, model question and answer will be provided in every session of Habitat. Answer writing remains one of the most neglected areas of our preparation. We always keep waiting for that one auspicious day when we will finish our syllabus and begin answer writing. But unfortunately, that day never arrives. Therefore, as we finish each and every small component of our syllabus, we will try and write an answer on that topic based on what we have learned. So, what will be our approach in the Statesman Club of Habitat? First is, we will try and understand the nature and evolution of Indian foreign policy. Why is this important? If we do not understand the historical background of India's foreign policy, we will not be able to appreciate what is happening in the present world. See, international relations is not merely about mugging up some agreements and some bilateral visits or some MOUs that are signed between countries. That is just an amalgamation of current affairs. That is not foreign policy, that is not international relations. Foreign policy has a very specific objective, and that specific objective is to prioritize the interests of a particular nation. Therefore, we have some specific interest with each and every region of the world. If tomorrow our Prime Minister or our President visits any country in the Middle East, even before reading what kind of agreement or MOUs has been signed, the first thing that should come to our mind is, oh well, our Prime Minister visited the Middle East. Our Prime Minister visited, say, Saudi Arabia. Then what should be one of the things in his agenda? It would be enhancing India's energy security. Once you are able to identify this kind of a macro perspective in India's foreign policy, you will not need to memorize each and every minor fact. Therefore, it is important for us to integrate the policy perspective with the current affairs. Thirdly, it is important for us to understand the nature of our bilateral, regional, and multilateral engagements. If you notice, our diplomacy when it comes to the regional organizations is very different from our approach to global bodies, say the United Nations or the World Trade Organization. And these are some important nuances and important distinctions that we should learn to make. And lastly, as I said, there is no good day to begin answer writing. The good day is today. The right moment is right now. Therefore, we will not wait to finish our entire IR syllabus and then start writing answers. We will start writing answers from the very first day, from the very first topic that we are going to pick up. How will the sessions be conducted? Many of you are already veterans of different Habitat clubs, so you know that Habitat is an interactive chat-based platform. We will also have 2 free sessions that would be open to all of you on Habitat so that you can get an idea as to how the sessions are going to be conducted. We will have live sessions once a week so that we can clarify our doubts. Each day, I'm going to provide you with one model question and the next day an answer to that question. I would also expect you guys to engage in conversation with your peers, to do peer review of your answers. The best way of learning is not just to learn from a mentor, but to also learn from each other. And in Habitat, we are providing you with this community of learners. So just see if your friends are using any particular diagram, any particular map, or some flowchart. And by looking at each other's answers, by giving feedback to each other on your answers, you can also learn a lot about answer writing. So let's quickly take a snapshot of the different topics that are going to be covered. We will begin our session with a discussion of IR terminologies. As I told you, terminologies and vocabulary are very important when it comes to this exam. We will be building our terminologies throughout the 20 sessions, but I want to give you at the outset a list of some important international relations terminology. Then we will spend 2 sessions discussing the evolution of India's foreign policy. The next aspect, that is India's neighborhood policy, is very important. If you have looked at the mains questions, then every year from international relations, one question is definitely asked in relation to one of India's neighbors. And these days in our neighborhood policy, we also have the China angle. So, understanding the relations with our neighbors is going to be very important. And this is especially important for a country like India that lives in a very volatile neighborhood. And our policies with our neighbors are not just with respect to foreign policy, it also impacts our internal security dimension. So we are going to spend a considerable amount of time studying about India's neighborhood policy. Then we are going to study about India's relations with respect to some important regions like West Asia, Africa. Central Asia, as you know, is emerging as an important part of India's extended neighborhood strategy. Central Asia is an important energy resource for India, particularly with respect to uranium. And we use the word great game these days in relation to Central Asia because the great powers like USA, Russia, China are also showing significant interest in Central Asia. So we need to give some importance to understanding India's policies with respect to the Central Asian region. Then we will deal with our Southeast Asia and ASEAN. Indo-Pacific, as you know, maritime security is emerging as an important area of India's foreign policy, and we cannot ignore latest developments like Quad. To understand these developments, we need to understand our broader policy perspective with respect to Indo-Pacific. Then we will move on to discussing our relations with some of the great powers. So we will look at India-US relations. Then we will study India-Russia relations. Also some of the other regions like India-Latin America. Then coming to our relations with different bodies like the regional organizations and the international organization. We will take a look at India's relations with vis-a-vis the different regional bodies. Diaspora, as you know, is very important for India, not only in terms of remittances, but also for furthering India's foreign policy objectives, India's political objectives. And diaspora relations, even with respect to different regions, like the diaspora interests of India in Europe is very different from our diaspora needs in, say, Middle East or in Africa. Therefore, diaspora relations are a very important aspect of our syllabus, and it is also specifically mentioned in your IR syllabus. Then lastly, we will have a discussion on international organizations. International organizations are important not just from the point of view of your mains examination, but also for your preliminary examination, where questions are often asked with respect to, say, who are the members of this international organization, what kind of association India has, whether India is an associate member, whether India is an observer state. So these are some of the important information with respect to international organizations that are important not only for our mains but also for our prelims. Now that we have seen how we are going to move forward in our Habitat Statesman Club, my last message to you guys is that action is a great restorer and builder of confidence, and inaction is not only the result but the cause of fear. Our success in this examination depends on taking some small incremental steps that we have to do on a daily basis. We have to practice answer writing, we have to read some books, we have to attend some sessions, engage with our peers. All of these different actions that we take on a daily basis ultimately take us to our success in this examination. So, let's not wait for the day to arrive when we will take action. Let's take action today, and let's become a part of the Statesman Club, where you become a part of the club today in order to become statesmen of tomorrow. Thank you so much.